I will say the bigger and better deal if you're a baseball fan,
Mm-hmm.
going to
Yes.
Comerica Park
Yeah,
can be a hassle.
it can.
Getting into Detroit, paying for parking, and it's very, very expensive.
Mm-hmm.
One of the best things to do if you have a family and you like baseball is to go to Jimmy John's Field in Utica, the United Shore Professional Baseball
Mm-hmm.
League. I know that last year was tough for the league, but hopefully things are going to be better this year. Their hashtag this year, bringing back the fun. Let's
Ooh.
hope so. Joining us now, let's bring in Dana Schmitt. She's the Chief Operating Officer for the United Shore Professional Baseball League. Dana, thank you for being with us.
Well, thanks so much for having me.
We're so ready for baseball.
We are too. We are too. And good news for us, actually. We've got a little bit more time than Major League Baseball because our opening day is May 28th this year. And so that's given us a little bit more time to get more people vaccinated. But you're right. We're bringing back the fun, and 2021 is our theme this year, and we're bringing back all the bells and whistles that make Jimmy John's Field such a special experience for people. It's great baseball, but we're going to have fireworks every Friday again this year. We'll have live music from our soundstage on Saturdays. We have fairy tale entertainment sends characters every Sunday. So we have our Sunday Fun Day for the kids. Just a ton of fun. We have a magician, Anthony Grappito, who performs 35 of our 5 games. So it's going to be great, and we're going to have about 1,000. Right now, our capacity limit is 1,000 at the ballpark. So on a typical game, that's about a third of our fans. For us, a sellout is max sellout is 4,500. So it won't be quite that, but it'll be much better than it was last year. It's going to feel a lot more normal. And we're hoping as the season goes on and maybe we get to midsummer that some of those restrictions that will still be in place, we anticipate by our opening day, will free up as we get farther into our season and into the summer months.
And do you think it will also help, at least from a family standpoint, they will feel more comfortable because you are an outdoor venue?
Well, that's been a big thing for us since this pandemic started. We actually did play last season all of our games, and but we were limited to 100 people, and which was a challenge because we were outside. And so this year we have been, I would say, we have booked so many events even prior to our season starting because we're an outdoor venue and everybody is looking for something outside. So we're doing everything from high school graduations to proms and homecomings to award ceremonies for corporations. We're doing events for the Macomb Chamber and the Sterling Heights Chamber. Everybody's looking to do something outside where they can have an outdoor venue that's got a lot of room, a lot of space, a lot of rooms for social distancing, and then has all of the amenities built in. So we already have the restrooms. We have all the facilities there to be able to put these events on in a safe, in a controlled environment where it's very safe. So, but we are going to be very, very busy. In fact, our first events start this coming weekend with college baseball, and it'll grow from there. And we'll be doing basically our entire calendar is almost full through October at this point.
Dana Schmitt with us here on the Mega Cast. She's the Chief Operating Officer for the United Shore Professional Baseball League. And looking at that throughout this pandemic, do you think you would be utilizing your space in all these different venues and avenues had the pandemic not happened?
I don't think so. So it's definitely things that we've never done before because I think people were used to going to the same places that they had done these events at in the past. So certainly this has opened the door to do things that we haven't done in the past, and maybe people will have a great time and decide to continue to do those types of events at the ballpark. But I think some of these events will go back to their regular venue in future years when the pandemic's over. But we're certainly happy that we have a venue that we're able to accommodate people. And even for things like these graduation ceremonies where, the kids didn't really get to do that last year. And so, we're happy that we're able to do something, even though with social distancing, there's still a limited number of tickets and things of that nature, because, it is a challenge once you have to social distance anything. But it is letting them have their ceremony and letting them have some family members come watch them graduate, for example. So it's a unique experience for us this year. But I think coming out of the pandemic, I think we're going to see a lot of happy, smiling faces at those events in addition to our games.
And we hope as well that then it opens up your venue and what you have to offer to the community. The baseball field and the setup there is really a beautiful space. For a baseball field, it's very family friendly as well. So hopefully you'll have more people come there, see what you have to offer, and then come back and enjoy the baseball season and the baseball field. And I know that you said, so you're opening the baseball season, it's going to be at the end of May. How are tickets though? Because with limited seating, do people need to get the tickets now, or are they pretty much sold out as well?
So right now we have not put individual game tickets on sales. We are only selling ticket plans at this time. We will put individual game tickets on sale, sometime in the next month in April. But right now we're still selling ticket plans, and we've had a big push for that because we do anticipate that many of these games with a capacity limit will sell out once we put individual game tickets on sale. And so the only way to really guarantee yourself that you will be able to come to the games you want to come to is to buy a ticket plan. And we have plans that start as small as 5 games. So a lot of people have been buying that and maybe locking in the games now, picking their games, so they'll be assured to be able to come to the games that they do want to come to. And then when we do put individual game tickets on sale, it's going to be a little bit different than it's been in the past because of social distancing. Those tickets are going to be available in pods, just like every other stadium and event like ours in the country. It won't be something where you can just go buy one seat. You're going to have to buy 4 seats together probably. And those are social distance throughout the grandstand. Not a lot we can do about that because we have to social distance our grandstand. And so this will be mapped out. And so everything from the lawn, you might have seen images of the Tigers playing in spring training with squares drawn on the lawn. Well, we actually did that same exercise last year. We thought we were going to have fans like this. So we already drawn our squares and we never got to do it. So, but that's exactly what we'll be doing. And the good news is that we can really space people out and socially distance, and 95% of our ballpark is outside. So we know it's going to be a great summer. It's going to be very safe. It's going to be fun. But we will, by the end of April, we will have those individual game tickets on sale, which will give us about a month before the season. But you still have time if you want to buy a ticket plan and lock yourself into, 5 games throughout the season where you'll be able to come. If you just call our box office, 248-601-2400, or go to USPBL.com, you can lock yourself into games now and be assured that you'll be able to attend.
Dana Schmitt with us here on the MegaCast. She's the Chief Operating Officer for the United Shore Professional Baseball League. Dana, what's it been like behind the scenes for the players?
So we went through, good news for us is because we did play last year, we had to go through, even with that limited number of people, we had to go through all the protocols with our players. And we have, in the USPBL, we have 4 teams that all the players, we own all 4 of those teams. So we have, 80 to 100 players that are coming to Utica from all over the country. So it was a big process to get them here, have them tested where they were, have them tested when they got here, quarantine everybody until all of their test results came back, and go through a whole season of very strict measures that we took to ensure we could go through the entire season and never miss a game, which we did. I think we were probably the only league that had all of its teams play all of the games. So, but that was a lot of enforcing all of the things that we're telling that our public health officials have been telling us all to do: masking, social distancing. We did not washing their hands. The first thing the players did when they got to the ballpark is we checked them in. We did a health check. They had a mask on. They went straight to wash their hands, and then they only were allowed to go into the locker room 7 at a time just to change their clothes. And all of their food was eaten basically in the dugouts or in a to-go box. We didn't let people go in the locker room. So all of that indoor space, we really limited the amount of time and the number of people that were in the confined spaces. So it was very different for the players, and it probably took about the first 2 weeks of the season last year for them to get used to the process, but then they did. So the good news is for this year, we really are going to be able to hit the ground running because we've been through that process, and we'll have a lot of new players, but our protocols and processes, we went through a full baseball season enforcing those. Of course, it would be great if all of our players were vaccinated before they get here. We don't have to do all of those things, but we don't know if that will be even a possibility for all of them because obviously they're younger people. And so, I'm hoping that that's the case, but we're definitely prepared to go through and put in place all the protocols that we did last year to keep our players safe and prevent any outbreaks.
Yeah, that can be hard because when you have players coming from various states, every state has different rules and regulations when it comes to getting vaccinated. It's a lot to keep up with.
Right. I mean, you can't really get yourself too wrapped up in that because you can't control that part. You just have to take the information. The good news for us is we've got more time before our players will be here. So that's one of the things we'll be talking about is who is in a state where they'll be able to get vaccinated, and what are we going to have to put in place. And if we don't have everybody vaccinated by the time our season starts, then we will have to use those same measures that we did last year. But obviously the more that we can have our players vaccinated, it's going to make it easier for us all to navigate the season and let them get back to feeling more like normal. So we're hopeful for that, but we're also realistic, and we understand we may have to do the same protocols that we did last season.
So, Dana, we know that there is starting to be a lot of talk around the vaccination and members of the public being required to be vaccinated to go certain places or do certain things. I think there are some venues in New York that are looking at this right now. Do you anticipate that's going to be a part of your conversation, or are you guys a smaller venue that you don't have to go there just yet?
So, I mean, that's not something that will be a requirement to come to a game at Jimmy John's Field. Obviously, there are a lot of people that have reservations, or they might have health conditions that prevent them from getting vaccinated. So that won't be a requirement, but obviously it'll certainly be helpful the more people in the general population that are vaccinated, where our number or our infection level comes down in the community, because anything like us, like a venue where people gather together, or a concert venue or anything like that, we need more people to be vaccinated so that the general public, that virus level comes down so we don't have to social distance anymore or wear masks. That's what we all want to get to, but it won't be something that we will require, or even that we've discussed. I mean, if it was something that the state or the federal government required, that would be a different story, but it wouldn't be something that on our end would be a requirement.
What's it been like trying to come up with a schedule and worry about like the numbers increasing again here in the state of Michigan, yet you're planning for weeks and months out?
So last year it was a lot more difficult. We kept moving our date, and the stay home kept getting extended. And we started on July 3rd, and we normally would start the second week of May. Going into this year, we actually set opening day last fall in October. And what we kind of assumed is we just listened to everything that was happening. We normally we pushed our opening day back 2 to 3 weeks from what we normally would have, because we anticipated spike that was going to happen around the holidays and in the winter months. And then we anticipated that the numbers would start coming down in the spring and that vaccines would be available. And it's looking like that was a good decision to give ourselves a couple of extra weeks. And in the meantime, we've sort of filled in a lot of those dates with these other outdoor events at the ballpark. So the ballpark will be used, but it won't be, it just won't be for our games, but it'll be for other events. And so I don't anticipate at this time that we would need to change or move our opening day like we kept moving our opening day last year. I think that we feel pretty good about May 28th and that we'll have at least 1,000 people coming to the ballpark by May 28th.
You're listening to 89.3 WBLD Orchard Lake, 88.1 WBFH Bloomfield Hills. Dana, just another minute or two here with you on the show. Fingers crossed everything gets better and so much better than what it was last year. But as opening day gets closer and closer, can we talk about the revenue? And the revenue stream, what's that look like? Because at the end of the day, running a ball field like this costs money. And the one thing we don't want to see happen is lose such a great entity like Jimmy John's Field and the ball playing that's going on there. So how is the revenue looking?
So, I mean, this year is definitely not going to be normal again, because if we can only have, like right now, 1,000 fans, obviously that is an impact on us because that's far less than what we would normally have. So we can't have typical sellouts. Our sellouts will be at a much lower number. But we have budgeted for that. We've planned for that. That was something we anticipated. And we have been able to do things like take advantage of PPP loans, things that enabled us to withstand everything that happened last year. And quite frankly, we've been very fortunate that we have a lot of corporate partners who supported us through last season. So we are, it won't be the best year ever that we've had. I anticipate 2022 might be the best year we've ever had. So, so it'll be an impact, but we are not going anywhere. We made it through last year. We will make it through this year. This year will be better than last year. And then hopefully we get back on track to normal things, certainly fully normal, full capacity by 2022.
Fingers crossed. And with that as well, hopefully sometime maybe you can expand, because this really seems to be something that the public enjoys. Families enjoy this.
Families do enjoy it. I truly believe we're the best family entertainment experience in Metro Detroit. I see the smiling faces coming in and leaving our ballpark, and it's really a special place. We are working on trying to do expansion. I don't have anything to announce right now, but it's something that we're always working on. And hopefully something will happen, because I do think that it would be great to bring this to another community. And one thing I do have to say, we've had 38 players that have been signed to contracts by major league organizations into their farm system. And one of those players in 2019 made it to the majors with the Twins. And over the weekend, he signed a big contract extension, a 5-year contract for his first, big multi-million-dollar contract. And he started in the United Shore Professional Baseball League, playing for the Utica Unicorns in 2017. So for us, that was just so fantastic to see that we helped make that young man's dream come true.
And there are other dreams out there to be made to, come to fruition as well. It's such a great venue that you guys have there. Thank you again, and hang in there. It's like you said, get through this year. In 2022, there's going to be an explosion. Like after the roaring, after the pandemic flu, we had the roaring 20s.
Well, we're already booking things for next year, so I think that'll be the case. But I think this summer is going to be pretty good too. So not quite what it was, but it's going to feel a lot more like normal.
Well, Dana, thank you again. We always appreciate your time. Real quickly before we let people go, they can still get tickets, but they have to get them in those packets. Where can they buy those? Can you get them online?
USPBL, USPBL.com, and then the phone number is 248-601-2400.
Thank you, Dana. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.